Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Golden Futures channel, forefronting a commodities renaissance. With us today, as always, the Chief Executive Officer, Stephen Wickinson. Welcome, sir.
No, thank you. It's good to be back.
It's always a pleasure to have you back, man. So last time we spoke, we really divulged down into your history, some of your background leading up to Golden Futures and the team that you're working with fronting this project. But today I really want to expand on these assets that you're working on. I mean, first and foremost, you've got one in Ontario here called Hercules, an 8,740, I guess, hectare gold project, right? Do you want to break this down first and foremost, and then we'll take a look at the second project, your Brady project?
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, the Hercules is our flagship for sure. You know, it spans two townships and in northern Ontario, which is a huge area to have here. It's a bit of an anomaly in the type of deposit. It's throwing out the geological term, we consider it an orogenic origin type of gold deposit. It's got quite a distinctive host rock, which probably relates back, if you think, to 2.5–3 billion years ago, the heart of when the Earth was forming through the Archean period. This would be a massive, big mound of volcanic activity that near surface or near on an ocean bottom would have flowed out, put the lava flows. And of course, the magma plug would have formed underneath these magma flows and crystallized the granodiorite that hosts the gold mineralization. Now, the Hercules was it's been known to hold through its iterations of different claims, gold deposits for probably 60 or 70 years. It's just that it's been very elusive for trying to figure out where all these extensions are. And in 2006, Kodiak Exploration discovered the Golden Mile vein on the property, and it just changed everything with respect to this, to how the development of the property started going up forward. And they discovered the Golden Mile vein, and the reason they called it Golden Mile is that it was its discovery time, a mile long. And they started to trench it. They trenched about 150,000 square meters of surface area and exposed not only the Golden Mile, but another dozen high-grade veins. But the Golden Mile is our focus, because this is a bonanza grade, absolutely outstanding area of mineralization. I encourage people to go to our website to take a look at some of the photographs in our presentations and so forth. The grades range right up to literally 2 or 3% gold in the mineralization. So like 10,000 grams per ton in grab samples. And the central core of the vein of the Golden Mile was about 400 meters long, about 3 meters wide, and averaged about 30 grams per ton, almost an ounce.
Yeah.
And so what we're doing is we're looking at extensions of this zone and trying to understand what controls these phenomenal high-grade pockets. And our predecessors actually came up with defining 1 million tons, mostly in the Golden Mile, containing about 220,000 ounces. So that's pretty amazing for just one small pocket. And we've extended through geophysics and so forth. This Golden Mile now should be called the Golden 2 Mile. Where it's in Canadian terms, it's more than 3,000 meters long of strike length. And we've been drilling this thing since December, and we put in 9 holes so far, and over several hundred meters of strike length, filling in some of the historical gaps in the drilling. And what we're finding is an incredibly robust, strong zone of mineralization in places of in excess of 11 meters thick, and in the first 4 holes that we just put out the press release on Monday on, we found that the grades in these wide sections were pretty impressive. You're getting about upwards of 5 grams type of thing in the vein. you're getting zones of the host rock shoulders grading 0.7 grams per ton over like 11 meters. So this is an outstanding looking zone, and on top of it, we're finding that there's there's sort of newly discovered parallel veining in the footwall of this. So by definition, we're changing everything we look at here. This could be a phenomenal stacked vein, open pitable monster. That it should be capable of hosting millions of ounces of gold. And just down the road from us, there's the development by the Greenstone Hard Rock Mine, where they've got a reserve of 5.5 million ounces now in the same type of high grade veining and disseminated wall rock type of thing. They plan on harvesting in the first 14 years of their operation about 4.5 million ounces. So this is a very, very interesting area to be working in. We're in the learning stages now to really apply a scientific approach to understand this property. Now, the last really good point about the Hercules is that all of this stuff I'm talking about is all located within about 6 or 7% of the surface area of this massively big property. And we've been doing regional exploration in parallel with the compilation of the old work and the drilling. And this regional geophysical work is revealing the potential for 3, maybe 4 more of these zones or corridors of gold mineralization in this particular host rock. And you think, wow, well, if the Golden Mile, the Golden 2 Mile, could host literally millions of ounces, and you've got 3 or 4 more of these zones, the upside for our company is outstanding. I've through my entire career, I have never had something that I could see so much blue sky in one property as this one.
Yeah, I was going to say a very blue sky opportunity here, and that's just the start, right? I mean, you got your Brady Gold project, this now 900 hectare that I've just heard that you sold some interest in the midst of Newfoundland there. Do you want to kind of just break that down a little bit as well?
Yeah, well, just before Christmas, we entered negotiation with a private U.S. firm called Beaver Gold Corp, based out of Reno, and signed an agreement with their Canadian subsidiary to sell 90% of the Brady project to Beaver Gold for $3 million worth of stock. In other words, 3 million shares valued at $1 a share. Beaver is right now in a pre-IPO for NASDAQ, and the listing price for that company's, as required by NASDAQ, is $4 US per share. Our $3 million worth of paper that we've agreed to take will post IPO will be a $12 million US asset for our company. And in Canadian dollar terms, you're looking at north of $15 million, which is way north of our current market cap. So that's probably one of the greatest non-dilutive financings that I've ever done in my career in terms of swiftness and turnaround. So it's I think with that kind of a bank account or portfolio, we've got literally tens of thousands of meters of drilling that's going to be pre-financed. So that's what that means to our company.
Yeah, it's incredible to hear. Do you mind just frameworking what the full scope of the plan is? Just zooming out a little bit here, as you guys kind of begin to uncover a lot of these projects. Are you just trying to prove out the mineralization and maybe look to start continuing to sell off the project? You guys looking to expand this into a full mining operation? Just kind of give us the full scope of what the plans are here.
With the treasury that we'll be having here, we can advance the Hercules property to a very, very valuable stage. Even just looking at the Golden Mile zone and the potential of more than 1 million ounces within that small part of the property, and valuing it at the sort of industry standard right now, our market cap should be in the order of about $150 million at that point. With that kind of depth of capital contained, there is no reason why we can't take and drive this thing to production and really give some good returns to our shareholders. And if and I think, um, am I going to look to sell it? Not until I can max out what we can make for our shareholders here. Is it going to be better to take it and have 1 million ounces, which would be in Canadian dollar terms, $2.5 billion asset for production, that should return, somewhere in the range of, 700 or 800 million dollars worth of profit to the company. What would you sell that for? And what premium would you get for the blue sky that you're opening the other areas within the property? These are big numbers, but this is why junior companies go into the gold exploration game. And for Golden Futures, we've already got, 1 million tons defined with better part of 250,000 ounces now, and we're just starting. That's the first step on the ladder. So I don't feel that I'm arm waving too heavily here and saying that I can see this, a multiplication factor here as we understand the mineralization, as we drill it off and build an ounce potential. It's not atypical either. What's atypical is the fact that we've got these huge grades in this area that have just not ever been followed up on, mostly because of bad market conditions. Yeah. And we've got our marketing program being built right now so that we can get this and educate the investing public as to why we're doing it, what the upside is, and gang, buy some stock at this level. This is the time to own the stock. I've been nibbling away at the market myself. You can see my insider trading. The same thing. And as we build up and our founders are buying stock and institutions are buying stock, we'll end up with a very attractive capital structure. So.
Yeah, when we come back, we're actually going to divulge a little bit more into that capital structure and talk about the balance sheet side of this business. But I think it's very intriguing as well that a lot of these commodity stocks have actually sold off in kind of the mix of this macro or these micro cap stocks selling off. But in the same time, you still have gold pushing highs, especially in this interest raising environment that usually bodes well for the commodity, right? So it's going to be an intriguing value setup for investors that are paying attention. But on that note, I definitely appreciate your time today, Stephen. I think you've given us a good view of what Golden Futures has in store for us. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Pleasure.
Always a pleasure. On that note, folks, let us know what you think in that comment section below, and consider subscribing for that news as well as it comes down the wire and we keep updating Golden Future story. But stay cool, stay awesome, and I look forward to catching you in the next one.